Hey, blast off, I can talk my ass off. Hey, smoke you what you seen and I'll tell you what I saw. Hollywood, what you think and I'll tell you what I thought. And we can talk about it all when we heard
What's up? What it do, y'all? We is back.
We made it.
Smoke down.
What up?
What number this is, folks?
54.
Y'all see how we had to look at our reminder here, right?
That's good though. We have that now because I forget every time we're about to start. I'm like, what number is this?
So what number is this again?
54.
And what's 51?
51.
What's 43?
43. That would be 43.
Want to welcome everybody back to the 54th episode of the Trash Talk Podcast. Happy New Year. Wonderful week.
Boom.
Everything's good, man.
We good in the hood, bruh.
Yes, sir. Man, we have had a phenomenal week. And
Nominally phenomenal.
Nominally phenomenal. Ooh, that's dope. Nominally phenomenal. I like that.
We get our phenoms in doses.
For real. So, yeah, man, we got a host of things we want to talk about today, man. Before we get started, I'm going to throw three things out to you guys, and we're going to find a way to tie them into each other.
Mm-hmm.
Smokey, we're going to talk about religion, right?
Yes, we are.
Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it right or wrong?
It's subjective.
Okay.
It's subjective to say the least.
We're also going to be talking about mythical creatures, i.e. unicorns, Bigfoot, mermans,
mermen.
And we're also going to tie in these diet trends that are going along these days.
Yeah, and we're going to make all that wrap together somehow.
And
like a web. Puzzles.
And prednisone.
Jared.
Anyway, what's up, man? How you been, bro? I feel like I haven't asked you that. How have you been?
I'm good.
Everything's okay?
Everything's okay.
You look good. Look like you're losing weight.
Yeah, I've been on a diet.
Oh, all right. Let's hop into diets real quick. All right. What kind of diet are you on?
I've been trying to make the leap over into the caveman diet, into the paleo diet, but right now it's mostly just keto.
Wait, now when you say the caveman diet, are you talking about the carnivore diet?
Yes.
Okay.
There might be a slight alteration between the carnivore and the paleo diet. I don't know. I haven't looked that too far into it, but I know just the basis of it. You know, you eat only things that were
available to the caveman.
To the paleo people.
So, all right. Did you get this from Joe Rogan?
No, not necessarily.
Because, he started it for the month of January.
Yeah, I think the first place I heard about it was Chris Jericho, as a matter of fact.
Oh, wow.
A couple years ago, yeah.
So, for people out there who don't know, and actually, I'm thinking about starting it as well. I don't know if this is what Smoke Dog's doing, but I want to try the carnivore diet.
Mm-hmm.
And what that is it's self-explanatory. You just eat
meat.
That's it.
Eggs, yeah. Living creatures.
Only carnivore diet is only meat.
Only meat. Okay, so I haven't made the leap quite to that yet.
Now, what was the other? What'd you call it?
Paleo.
Now that I think cheese and eggs, dairy.
Yeah, exactly.
But
anything you could get from an animal.
Exactly. Now with Joe Rogan, and what got me interested in it is people say that humans are omnivores, but we're really carnivores.
Yeah. Well, it's the vegans that vegans actually try to say that humans are supposed to be vegetarians due to our structure of our teeth. Because our teeth are specifically made for plants. But that's what they say. But veganism is a religion. And
is it really?
Yeah. If you look at it at the basis of it, it's a religion. Because they're not doing it for... some of them might say they're doing it for health reasons, but essentially veganism is a state of mind. It's where you are actually doing it for purposes of defending animals.
Well, I think if you put ism on the end of anything.
Exactly. It makes it a religion, basically. Yeah.
All right. Now, do you know the difference between a vegan and a vegetarian?
There's certain things that vegans won't eat, but vegetarians basically do it for health reasons, whereas vegans would do it more for
Animal rights.
ethical reasons. Reasons.
Dude, we're all phenomenally anomalized up
We're
today.
nominally phenomenal right now.
Man, there are some vegans out there that, okay, a real diehard vegan won't wear leather
Yes, exactly. Or fur.
or won't use certain toothpaste.
Won't use animal products in general.
soap.
Yeah.
They won't.
Not even milk. Not
Anything.
even things that don't necessarily harm the animal because they believe they are harming the animal by keeping them captured.
Right. I mean, it's crazy. Imagine you dedicating your diet to something so much that, man, those are some nice shoes over there, bro. Let me check the tags. Is there any leather?
No, yeah.
Man, you better put them Jordans on and rock them things,
You
man.
better put on your hemp slippers and get the hell out of here.
It's crazy though, man, because my parents or my mom would say they're not vegans. I don't know what you would call it, but what they say, my mom, her thing is she doesn't eat anything that doesn't come in its own package, which is a great way. Does that register in your mind?
Explain that though.
She won't eat anything that doesn't come in its own package. And apple, it's not packaged. It's in its own package.
Oh, okay. I
Meat,
see.
yes, it's in a container, but it's not, basically nothing processed.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
So cheese or eggs or just anything that doesn't come out of its own package,
Yeah,
basically.
it's no processed foods.
Basically.
Yeah, I get it.
But oh man, and speaking of some of these vegans and vegetarians, and I think I brought this up on one of our past episodes. Have you heard about some vegans and vegetarians getting prosecuted because they were pregnant and giving birth to malnutrition children because they didn't eat?
Oh, wow. I don't think I've ever heard of any specific cases, but I've heard people actually make the argument that those people should be prosecuted in some way for malnourishing their children. Mm-hmm. And, if you try to raise a child strictly vegan, is that child actually going to grow up to be a full-size person? Could you stunt their growth? Could you actually hinder their mind from not getting the cholesterol and the fats they need to keep their brain flowing? I mean, you can get fats through vegetables, but can you get the right amounts and the right amount of doses now? I'm not making the argument for or against it, but that's the questions I would have.
Can you get fats from vegetables?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain fats in vegetables. I mean, avocados have a lot of
You
fats.
just took the word out of my mouth.
Yeah, that's one of the big ones.
Yeah, my mom was like, if you are craving meat, eat an avocado.
Yeah.
It's basically the same exact
Because
substance.
you get your little bit of protein, you get your fats out of it, and
Right.
your fibers as well.
Do you think it's ethical for, let's say you are a diehard vegan. Mm-hmm. Let's say your wife is a diehard vegan. Mm-hmm. You aren't allowing her milk. You aren't allowing her cheese. No animal products. Now most babies come out 6 to 10 pounds, right?
Yeah.
Your baby comes out 3 pounds. Mm-hmm. The reason that is because you haven't been giving it. Now the doctor comes in and say, "Hey, here's some formula. Here's some breast milk.
Look, here's how we can break that down. If you're going to prosecute someone for not giving a child a vaccine that they need,
Can that be done?
yeah, some people want to. I don't know the specific cases, but I'm sure in some states it's possible.
That's an ethical choice, though.
Exactly. So it would be veganism. So if you're going to say, you either have to be on one side of the fence or the other. If you're going to say vaccines, you have to vaccinate your kids, then you can also say that you have to give them the proper nutrition and you can't keep them on a vegan diet if it's not healthy.
Right. Now, I got a question for you. Mm-hmm. I keep forgetting it. You are a
Libertarian.
Okay. I don't know. I be want to say liberal. I be want to say librarian. I be want to say.
I'm a librarian.
But be quiet. You basically believe do what you want as long as it's not hurting anyone else.
Exactly.
And it's called a what? Libertarian, right?
Libertarian.
All right.
You get your liberties. I mean, you have freedom to do anything you want as long as you don't harm anyone else.
can you be a libertarian and be a pregnant vegan? Meaning, you're harming your child by not giving it the proper
Well, if you're
nutrition.
harming your child, that's doing something wrong. That would be illegal under a strict libertarian government.
So do you agree with that? Do you agree with?
I agree that you should. I mean, if there are significant signs of child's harm due to a specific diet, yes, there could be some intervention there to change the way you are taking care of that child. And if veganism is causing the child significant problems, and stunning the growth and keeping the child unhealthy, keeping the child from forming correct muscle structure, and bone structure,
Yeah.
then yes, there should be something stepping in there to help you correct that situation.
What is that something? You get where I'm going. If you saying that you're libertarian, and if you're
Well, I mean, the first step would be, it wouldn't be to just grab these people, throw them in jail, and take the kids, because that's the worst thing you can do. Kids need to be with their parents, if at all possible,
okay,
unless there is direct harm done to the kids.
right?
So the first step would be trying to help them correct the problem.
Okay, so you say let's correct the problem. Let's say you talk to all right, take this as an example. Let's say there's a Muslim mother. They don't eat pork. Now let's say this child has a rare condition to where the only thing that they can do to survive is by eating pork.
Wow, that would be extremely specific. But yeah,
I mean,
if that were the case, then damn your beliefs, because that child
Really?
comes first. Yes. Why you think you should be able to harm the child?
No, I don't know, bro.
Let's stick with my beliefs and just let the child go to hell? No. And not
No,
hell.
heaven. In that case, the child would go to heaven.
No, I'm not meaning in the biblical sense. I'm meaning just let the kid waste away.
We don't eat pork. It's not in our family. My religion does not eat pork. I will not give my child pork. And then the doctor says, okay, well then your child's gonna die.
Yeah. Then there should be something done there.
Damn, that's kind of crazy if you think about it.
Yeah, it is.
Where was I going with that?
But what if what if they said, hey, your child could easily survive if they took this vitamin C. Now, my religion doesn't let us eat anything that has vitamin C in it. So your child's getting scurvy. You need to do something about this.
But
that's not my religion.
You're right. That's what some hardcore theologists, some hardcore religious believers, some of them choose their God over their child.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the same thing with veganism.
Wow, dude, we can unfold this.
Yeah.
So how does that work? Like, if you are a die-hard Muslim that does not eat pork, but pork is the one thing that's gonna make your child survive.
Yes.
Do you think what is the percentage if you think Muslims that would say, okay, she can eat pork versus the percentage of Muslims that say, no, she can't because it's against our religion?
Well, I think this day and age, maybe 50-50.
Don't forget, these are the same people who strap bombs. I'm not being racist.
You're talking about those Muslims.
I'm talking about straight up.
Not American Muslims.
I guess. I mean, isn't it the same thing?
Well, you got to think I don't think Muhammad Ali and Osama bin Laden were the same type of Muslim.
All right, this is going to sound crazy, but growing up half black, a lot of black people are Muslim.
Yeah.
All right, you have, and I don't know where this comes from, but I've heard some black Muslims say, well, you have Muslims and then you have Muslims. What the heck is the difference?
I don't know. I've never went down that rabbit hole to see there's a difference there, but
you should, man.
Yeah.
Because whoever Elijah Muhammad is, you know who that is? It's like a prophet.
The original. That was their version of Jesus, basically.
To the Muslims.
Yes. Muhammad. That's their Quran figure. That's their savior.
Really?
Yeah. He's like a Buddha would be.
Or Jesus.
Or Jesus.
Right.
There's plenty of them if you go back far enough, like Enoch or...
All right, so I'm about to use a radical example here, okay? And I hate to hit you with some of these questions, man.
All right.
Let's say you're a father, right? Newborn kid. You don't believe in heroin. I know this is crazy. I know. You are against it. You don't believe in drugs. You don't touch
Yes.
drugs. It's bad. The only way your child can survive is by shooting heroin into their veins. You know it's bad, but that's the only way they can survive.
Well, let's look at it this way, because there are things like that are taking place, it's under a doctor's supervision, right? So
I think I know where you're going here.
and that is medicinal in the basis of it. I mean, heroin was originally invented as a medicine, and it has multiple purposes other than just killing pain, but it also works as a
What other purposes are there?
it's for allergies. It works as a
Inflammatory?
And
I don't know about this, Smokey.
all opiates work. For the most part, all opiates work as an anti-allergy. Also,
Really?
yes. That's why people who go through opiate withdrawals get sneezes and
Right.
runny noses and things like that.
I'm thinking of something different. All right, but you're.
But yes, that's off the point. I digress. But yeah, I think under the doctor's supervision, yes, you are going to go seek that help.
So you are putting doctor's word over God's word. That's what you're doing. You're
Basically, that's my mind state. I know some people will just look at it as it's in God's hand. We're going to stay the course that we believe God wants us to do, and if he dies, he dies.
Oh, now that opens another book because
Didn't Abraham offer up his son as a sacrifice because he thought that's what God wanted?
okay. If that happened today, dude, is that not the biggest case of mental illness?
Yes. And you would be sent to prison.
But
So how is that
God.
much different than that situation?
But what if God actually spoke to that person? What? Excuse me. What?
Well, yeah, if it actually happened, yes, and you would, I believe, an all-knowing, omnipotent, all-ever-loving God would understand that, hey, if I follow you, I'm going to be prosecuted, and my kid's going to be taken away, and they're going to take care of him. But if I don't follow you, I'm going to go to hell. So,
God, this is freaking.
yeah, that's tough, right?
I know.
What do you do if you believe? Because you're not going to go to the doctor and say, "No, God told me he don't need these medicines."
But what if God? How do you
because
prove
child
that?
services is going to take your kid at that point.
Okay, but then that's the man the separation of church and state.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't know what's going on in that person's head. Mm-hmm. And if you go, like, people who plead insanity and they say, God made me do it.
Yeah.
What if God actually spoke to them? There's no way to
According
prove that.
to the Bible, that has happened many times. God told people to go kill other people.
Right. So let's take the judge in that case. Let's say the judge is a 100% Bible thumper and they believe in God to the fullest, and they say, hey, God told me to do this.
Well, if you go back far enough, you had a judge that was a supreme Bible thumper, and a judge as it is, which kind of is contradictory to me. Like, how can you be a judge and still believe that no one can judge you except God?
And what's the famous quote that everybody gets tattooed on?
Only God can judge me. So that is kind of contradictory for a judge to be a Bible thumper. But there are ones out there, and in this day and age, after the Enlightenment, the judge is not going to believe you. Like, you can run into a church right now and say, God has spoke to me. Oh, what did he say? They're going to believe you for a minute. If you say, he told me to kill this whole neighborhood down the street.
Right. They're
going to be like, no, he didn't.
But what if he actually did?
What if?
It's like they'll take the good. If it's something good God said to you, we're fine with that.
Oh, yes, we believe it. It happens to me all the time. He told you to give all your money to charity. Yes.
Bring it on.
I've heard it before.
But he also told me to slit my wrist because my blood was gonna sacrifice to. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's not right. God wouldn't say that. But,
no, he wouldn't say that.
How do you know?
Exactly.
Man,
That now we're into religion.
not exactly. It all comes
Told you
full
we would
circle.
tie it all in together.
It's crazy because in the United States Constitution, you have indivisible,
With liberty.
with liberty
That's the
and
pledge.
justice for all.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the Constitution.
Wait, how's it go? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the,
To the
republic,
republic,
for which it stands.
Which is actually a republic and not a democracy.
Right. One nation,
Under God.
under God,
Indivisible. With liberty and justice for all. But is it for all? Felons don't have liberty and justice. Well, I guess you could argue the semantics of justice. But you don't have liberty if you are a felon.
Why don't you? You still have human rights. You still have, as they would say, God-given rights. What do you mean?
But liberty essentially is freedom. You're a felon, you lose your freedoms. Whether you are incarcerated or on parole, or you just have certain rights taken away. Certain inalienable rights that they told us in the Bill of Rights that we had. We hold these truths to be self-evident, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
One of ours is the right to bear arms.
Right.
This is
an
an alienable right that every person has, right?
right.
If you're a felon, you don't have that right.
Okay, so
Do the crown
God, you
duties.
just
Blah, blah, blah,
well,
blah.
no, you God, I forgot what I was about to say. All right, I want to ask you a question. Okay, in Georgia, we have a stand your ground law. We have the right to bear arms, right? Let's say you're a felon. Let's say someone breaks into your house with the AK-47 with intentions to get rid of your whole family, right?
Yes.
You're not allowed to have a gun. You pull your gun out. That's illegal because you're a felon. And you shoot the person that had intentions of getting rid of your whole family. Do you go to jail because you're a felon?
Yeah, because you weren't allowed to have the gun in the first place.
But I'm defending myself because
Doesn't matter.
that is freaking crazy.
That's a right you don't have anymore.
That is crazy. You can't take my... Wow, dude. That you're literally taking away my constitutional right. And some would argue my God-given right to protect. I don't care what anybody says. Human nature, you have two basic human reactions. Fight or flight. If someone comes in, you're either going to fight them or you're going to
gonna
give
run.
up. One of the two. And that's with anything. If a cheetah, or let's say a panda, if a panda bear gets backed into the corner by 15 hyenas,
They can't run anymore. They're going to try to fight.
there you go.
Yes.
So I'm just saying, like, does that, again, it's like, does man's word overpower God's word to the Bible thumpers? Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, man says, well, no, you can't have that gun. That's our word. But God's word says, so how come your man's word overrules God's word?
It's the law of the land. Well, people argue that we based our laws off of God's law.
Well,
But
that's why
there's so many contradictions in it.
that's why I always say religion is just law before law.
It is. In a sense, religion was used to control people before the laws that we know of today.
Criminal justice system.
Yes. Before there were those structures set in place,
Right.
it was much easier to control the masses by using religion and faith and the promise of an afterlife.
Right. So
Because some people will give up on punishment in this life and just do whatever they want, right?
what do you mean?
Like sometimes just saying I'm gonna slap you on the well, that's proverbial. Sometimes if you say, all right, this guy is institutionalized, right? All right, you go to him and say, all right, I'm gonna let you out, but if you commit one more crime, then I'm gonna put you back in jail. Well, he doesn't care. He's been in jail. He's institutionalized. What does he care? He can go out and commit whatever crime he wants. So, to take it a step beyond that, you teach him about what's going to happen after he dies. Like, you keep committing these crimes, you're going to burn in hell for eternity. That's the most harsh sentence you could ever think of, right?
Right.
is to actually burn for eternity. So therefore, you can control a certain other population that wouldn't be controlled with just the threat of doing things to them during life. You see what I'm saying?
I understand. You know who I would love to have right now to have this conversation with?
Who's that?
You know exactly what I'm thinking about.
Who?
Me.
Me?
100%.
Yeah.
'Cause
That would be good.
that would be a good conversation to have, because if you are a devout Christian, your religion says, again, I've read the Old and New Testament, but my memory's so foggy. I know that somewhere in the Bible it says, basically gay people should die.
Yeah.
So if you go and you saw two men fornicating, and that person shoots one of those men, my religion says you're not supposed to do that. So I did God's work. But man's work says, hey, you just murdered somebody.
There is a justification that some people give. We're talking about the Christian religion right now, that the New Testament is different than the Old Testament.
What's the difference?
Well, because after Jesus died for all of our sins, this is not coming from me, this is coming from them. After God died for all of our sins, then that actually changed the rules that God had given out in the Old Testament.
Who was them?
Them?
You said...
That changed the rules that God had given out in the Old Testament.
All right, break this down here. Because,
we shouldn't be stoning people if we find them gay.
Okay.
The New Testament teaches, when Jesus taught more of a love and basically positive reinforcement rather than negative reinforcement, like you would do to a child.
Okay.
Like, if you see a child, you like, hey, don't eat those candy bars in there. I'm saving those for the weekend. And you come in and see the child ate the candy bars. What is your first reaction? Do you spank him, knock him upside his head, or do you sit him down in a chair and you talk to him?
What do you do?
I'm asking you.
Well, I'm asking you.
Well, I think it's somewhere in the middle, actually. I mean, not that you beat the kid.
No. Well, do you?
Well, no.
My grandma would have beaten me.
Exactly, and mine would have too. But I think it's actually somewhere in the middle, because just sitting them down and go, no, you are wrong, that's not going to stop the kid. And if you go and beat the kid, sometimes that's not going to work either, because the kid will eventually adjust to the violence of that.
But in the Bible, it says you don't spare the rod on a child, which means beat your children.
That's Old Testament, yes.
So who believes in Old Testament and who believes in New Testament? Do you know?
I think most modern day Christians believe more of the New Testament. They believe the Old Testament happened and that's the way the law was, but they believe now we should be following the laws of the New Testament rather than the Old.
Wow. Man, anybody out there listening, if you are educated or if you're updated on this, I'm not the smartest person. On some points, I am a complete moron. Smokey's not the smartest person, and on some points, he's a complete moron.
I'm not a theology major for any purposes, no.
Right, so we have questions, man. We've had religious debates on this podcast before, and maybe I'm just chasing my tail, because a lot of these questions can't be answered. Like a lot of them.
No, exactly. A lot of them can't.
Does you call that faith? That's you just going off of faith.
Yeah.
Like,
Of course.
I don't know if this is exactly what the Quran says, but you hear people say, oh, you do this in the name of Allah, you go to heaven and have 37,000 virgins. I don't know if that's what it really says, but I can't fathom a God that would allow you to hurt so many people, kill so many people, bomb so many people, just for you to have a beautiful, outstanding afterlife. I can't.
Does it ever describe what kind of virgins you're getting? Because you could get the old joke of,
oh Lord, here we go. Here we go.
You get a room full of nerds playing D&D all day.
Shout out to Alex and JJ. What's up? I'm joking.
But yeah,
and just off topic, who wants virgins? Who wants that?
I don't know.
That to me,
You want all inexperienced?
no blood. You want that?
No.
Ugh.
I don't.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, and I don't know. A lot of it don't make sense, man.
That's why we need not you don't have to necessarily be a theologist, but somebody who knows about this religious topic. And I've got a few people in mind that I'd like to bring in and actually speak with, because I've always been told two things you never talk about is religion and politics, because everyone has different point of views. So at the end of the day, you ask me, religion is just faith.
Yes.
You just have to have faith.
It is. And that's why I'm a libertarian. Do what you want to do. Just don't hurt anyone else.
But what if you're hurting your own child inside of you? Isn't that, then you're not a libertarian anymore? If you
No, you are. I mean, you're doing something wrong. I mean, if you're, I mean, well, oh God, we could get into
yes,
the debate
let's do it. Come on.
when does a child actually become a living,
No.
breathing child?
Not that, but if you're such a libertarian and you believe do whatever you want unless it hurts someone, you don't feed your child the proper.
That's hurting someone, yes.
So then you're not a libertarian anymore. Let's say you've been.
No. Yeah, I don't think you're misconstruing the term there. I mean, I'm saying that's the way I believe. I'm not saying that's what I'm doing. I'm saying
So then you're not practicing your beliefs.
I'm not carrying a child and
I'm
malnourishing him.
speaking hypothetically here. Well, what if?
I'm not saying that's what I would do. I would personally do what it takes to keep the child healthy. I'm not going to sit down and, if I were a female carrying a child, I'm not going to sit down and, read a certain religious text to try to figure out what I should eat.
Okay, I got a brain twister for you. What if you are a pregnant female that's a Muslim libertarian?
Is that possible?
You get what I'm going here?
Yeah.
This is crazy. You don't want to do anything. Do what you want. Just don't hurt anybody.
This is why most libertarians are agnostic.
Because religion and politics don't mix.
Yeah, exactly. Separation of church and state, for God's sake. But that right there, separation of church and state, is the whole dilemma that we have.
Man, I don't know, dude. And we live in the Bible Belt, so people here have their own.
Yes.
I don't know. Speaking of the Bible,
I'm
just gonna throw you something random off topic here.
All right.
Unicorns.
Were they in the Bible?
No. Real animal or fake animal? Has it ever been a real animal?
Well, we've never found fossils.
Or have we?
I don't know.
Because isn't a horn just calcified bone? Or it's basically
Hair.
a toenail, right?
Yeah, hair, toenails, yeah.
So those stick around when you die, right? If your body decomposes.
Well, they knew that the woolly mammoth had the giant tusks, so I'm assuming so.
Okay, so we've never found a
Not that I know of.
quote unquote universe. Do you remember back in the day when there were 3 hunters in Georgia that quote unquote found a Bigfoot? Do you remember that? And it was all in the news. Well, it's proof that Bigfoot did exist. Gigantopithecus.
Yes, exactly. We have found the structures of those, yes.
Right.
But the question is, do they still remain?
I don't think so.
Are there a few still
I
wandering the
don't
woods?
think so. Unless they have some crazy telepathic powers where they can.
Well, a lot of the, what do you call them? The paranormal researchers.
Yeah.
Guys on that level love to say that they are actually from an alternate dimension.
Or they can shapeshift or
Yes,
stuff
things like that. Which are convenient excuses, really, if you think about it.
Well, I mean, a lot of people say, to the people out there who don't, there's a lot of people who don't believe in dinosaurs.
Yeah.
A lot of people think T-Rex was just a big kangaroo. I mean, think about it. It's a big kangaroo.
Maybe.
A lot of people think woolly mammoths, just a big elephant that had to adapt to its climate so it grew more hair.
Well, science is ever evolving and ever changing. All it takes is for one day some scientists to come across some strand of DNA and realize that there is a connection. at first they didn't realize there was a connection between dinosaurs and birds.
Birds, and they're like, or chickens, well, same
Yes,
thing.
exactly, because they thought they were all strictly reptiles.
I think, well, dinosaurs are more closely related to birds, right?
Yes, now they believe that. Yes.
And if you look at a bird, like look at an ostrich's legs, talons, that looks like a freaking dinosaur, dude.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And like Triceratops, to me, that's just the rhinoceros. I'm not saying dinosaurs didn't exist. I'm not saying that there wasn't. I think that dinosaurs are animals that we see today that just haven't evolved into what we see today. Like I said, T-Rex was just a big kangaroo. Long tail, big short arms. Kangaroo.
Yes. So the accepted theory throughout the course of learning that we know of,
Yeah.
people have always said that the dinosaurs, for the most part, went extinct completely, right?
Right. But okay, go ahead.
And all the species that we have now were actually new species that evolved from whatever was left on Earth at that time
Okay.
after the whole extinction event.
Which was what? What made him go extinct?
Well, the accepted theory is an asteroid.
Where's the crater?
Oh man, you know what? I actually saw a story. I didn't read too far into it, but I saw a story where they actually found a new crater of a giant asteroid impact.
So, how long have dinosaurs been extinct? Millions?
Yeah, millions.
And we're just now finding this?
Yeah. Well, we really haven't. It's only been the past couple hundred years where we've been able to travel the entire Earth.
If you had to bet money on it,
Uh-huh.
what made the dinosaurs go extinct?
You know what? Here's what I like to theorize. Because, I'm agnostic and I don't really believe anything. But
Smokey don't believe nothing.
I don't believe anything.
Damn, you starting to turn into a German trash talker.
You know what? I believe everything. No, I'm not a skeptic. I'm open-minded.
Okay.
But I'm just not going to make any conclusions because every time someone makes a conclusion, they're eventually found out wrong, right?
Right.
Like basically everything someone believes throughout history is eventually proven wrong.
Give me an example.
Because 99% of everything people have ever come to a conclusion on throughout history has been proven wrong in the future.
Give me an example.
Oh God, I was about to say the Earth is flat.
No, I was about to bring that up, but give me an example. Well, you can't prove that though. Give me something where they said this is what it was, and then we figured out that's not what it is.
Tuberculosis.
Oh Lord.
They believe this was they called it consumption. They believe it was a disease that eventually took over you and your mind that led you to wasting away. And then eventually we realized that it was an infection of the lungs.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, science is always evolving, always changing. Remember, here's something localized I can tell you. Remember how when we were kids, they started saying, you know what, eggs are really bad for you.
No.
Well, yeah, now we're like, no, they're actually really good for
all right,
you.
this is the Mandela effect. Shout out to Mandela.
You never heard that. Back in the 80s and early 90s, they were hammering how bad eggs were for you.
No,
they were leading to heart disease, high cholesterol.
What dimension are you from?
I don't know if there's a name for it, but
When I was late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s, I always remember hearing the excellent egg, or
the incredible edible egg.
Yeah,
that was that was what changed it actually when they started doing that campaign. And all it was egg farmers that collected their money together to do studies on eggs because they were getting so much bad publicity at the time.
When I asked you to give me an example, I got a good one that you could have said.
What's that?
Marijuana.
Yeah, there you go.
Back in the day, they said you'll jump out of windows, you'll
Yes.
do all these horrific things.
Yeah.
Turns out
It's actually
It's
kind of good for
probably
you.
one of the best things you can do for yourself.
Yeah, hallucinogens in general.
Right. Man, have you heard about them actually legalizing microdosing mushrooms?
Yes. And they're already using MDMA.
Yeah. What?
And, of course, they've been using Ibogaine, not in America
South
because
America.
we're still a little behind.
I hate that.
But,
But-
people have changed their lives due to hallucinogens. And we were told for a good 50 years that how bad they were and how it was going to make you kill your friends and things like that.
But you would you classify I mean, yes, I know under the book it's classified as that, but would you classify marijuana as a hallucinogen?
Edibly? Yes.
Well, that's a totally different monster.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't give you the actual visual hallucinations like a
You get auditorial hallucinations.
Yes, you do.
Hallucinations.
oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, it is a hallucinogen, yeah.
Right. I don't know, man. And the reason I think North America hasn't adopted the whole Ibogaine, the whole peyote, the mescaline thing, is because we have $1 trillion pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
So if I take 2 days out of my life to take an Ibogaine trip, and it's going to release me from the chains of addiction, I'm free.
Yes.
You think pharmaceutical companies want that?
You would think the humanitarian side of America would say, we need that because we're dealing with the opiate crisis. They keep screaming about the opiate crisis. We have new candidates running for president strictly on the platform of we are going to solve the opiate crisis. Well, the solvent has already been around for thousands of years, and they have been using it in other countries, but we're just a little too far behind. And it's not that we're far behind, it's that we turn a blind eye to that because it will put our pharmaceutical industry out of business, or at least a portion of it. What do you think?
I want you to keep going on this.
Well, I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Isn't it that we have the cure? The cure is out there. Why are they still screaming about it? Why are they like, oh, this is an opiate crisis. People are dying because of this opiate crisis. Yes, there is an opiate crisis. We have the cure. But it's illegal here. It's illegal. Why? Because of lobbyists. There's lobbyists. Though that pharmaceutical industry, the Mercks, the Pfizers, all those guys, they pay people to go to Washington and influence lawmakers. And then they keep the Ibogaine illegal. So anyone who wants to actually get cured, if you are suffering from an opiate addiction right now, if you want the cure, it's out there. Go down to South America. Go to Mexico. I think there's even clinics in Canada that do it. You can be cured in 2 days. 2 damn days.
Why can't you do it in America?
I told you.
I love this
Lobbyists.
side of Smokey. I love this side of Smokey.
It's BS, man. It's all
crap.
BS. It's all BS. We want to claim to be the humanitarians of the world. We want to take care of the world. We want to solve everybody's problems, but we can't solve our own problems. When the solution is out there, we can't solve our own problems. Get out of here with that bullshit.
I love this, man. Oh man. Yeah. People say that they have Americans, all these politicians say they have our best interest at heart. If you have our best interest at heart, there's a cure for, some people say a cure for cancer with marijuana. Legalize it. Let's cure these people.
Yeah. I mean, there possibly is a cure,
I'm sure
but
there
we
is.
haven't done the studies yet.
I'm sure we have. I feel like here's my conspiratorial mind. Overpopulation. If we give you the cure, there's more people on
Are we
Earth.
saving too many people?
Right.
Is it population control?
Is it?
That's a whole nother rabbit hole we could go down
Well,
right there.
we won't do it today, but we need, as crazy as this sounds, we can't. How many people are in America right now?
Almost 400 million.
All right,
Which is not a lot compared to places like India and
dude.
China.
I think Australia has 400 million people.
No.
Less?
No. They got like 400. Well, they have about 18 million, I think.
Damn, that little?
Yeah, I mean, it's a desert. It's a giant desert where everything walking around can kill you.
I've heard people say, hey, if you want to go to Australia on the outskirts, that's where you want to go. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but I saw that somewhere the entire country of Australia had a less population than the state of California.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you got to think, they only have Perth, Sydney, Adelaide. You know, there's not a lot of major metropolises.
You got New Zealand, I mean.
Well, New Zealand's an island off the coast of Australia. It's
True.
completely in not necessarily independent country because they are still under the monarchy of England.
Right.
Of the
Really? Oh,
UK.
that's why they have the British flag.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's Canada.
Here's a question off of that. Why does Hawaii have the British flag in it? Have you seen the Hawaiian flag?
I don't think I've ever paid attention to it.
It's got the British flag in it.
Huh.
Here's something crazy. Did you know in UFC fights, they made a big deal about Max Holloway coming out with the Hawaiian flag? Mm-hmm. Did you know that UFC has some policy to where you can't come out with your state flag? You can come out with the American flag. But imagine me coming out with a Georgia flag. The old Georgia flag with the rebel flag on it.
Well, that's going to draw some interest.
But how come I can... It's like I can show the...
Aren't there still some states that still have the Confederate flag in it? Like Mississippi?
Isn't Georgia what?
No, Georgia changed. We progressed past this point. We're a little less racist than the other southern states.
We need to talk about that. Like, why does a flag enrage so many people?
Oh, yeah, that's a good topic.
Yeah. Man.
You know what Neil Bortz used to call him?
Who's Neil Bortz?
Neil Bortz was a libertarian talk show host in Atlanta.
Sounds like somebody I know.
But you know what he used to call them?
What?
Like the people who would get really mad about the flag and because he was always on this whole thing about there's other things we need to be worried about than a flag. Who cares about a flag?
Right.
He would call them flaggots.
You flag it. I promise you that's going to get demonetized.
Probably so.
I promise
There's
you.
an L in there.
What do you think about that?
The flag?
Yeah, because some people argue that's heritage.
Oh, dude.
Should we do that on the podcast?
Yes, don't get me
All right.
started.
Keep that in mind because that's what we're going to talk about
All right.
on the next podcast.
We do.
All right, that was the end of some good old-fashioned trash
talk.
Booyah! All right, Smoke Dog, let's get into these segments, folks.
Yes, sir.
Oh, my Georgia. And what the Florida? OMG WTF.
2 states whose flag do not contain the Confederate flag anymore.
Now that I think about it, what does the Florida flag look like?
We could look it up.
Dude, my phone just
Might be
fully
a
charged.
meth pipe. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's gonna make some people mad.
That was epic, dude. That was awesome. Imagine.
Listen. I gotta add a disclaimer here because that was right off the cuff. But I do love the people of Florida. Not all of them. I love Florida. It's a beautiful place. There's some really good people down there, but there's also some really horrible people down there.
That was awesome. Imagine people walking out with a flag and it's got a chalet on it. Florida!
Go Gators!
Oh, man. Go Chalayers.
And they're jorts.
Yeah. Who goes first on this segment of OMG WTF?
Your turn. Hold on. I got to look up the Florida flag.
Yeah, I'm curious as to what it looks like myself now. Man, I want a Popeye chicken sandwich. I'm sorry that's off the cuff. But really
All right. I did not realize. Here we go.
Is it a meth?
No.
Hold
An
on.
M pipe. We're demonetized.
All right.
Man. We keep going.
Do I
We're
need to
gonna
put
owe
this on
YouTube to
screen?
put this video out.
Does this go on screen?
Yes.
Right here.
This is the flag of Florida.
What does it say? It says, Great Seal of the State of Florida, in God we trust. Man, I wish I could see the background. What is that? Is that like a Indian lady in the back? Like, with the Mayflower? I guess if you think about it, when the settlers came over, they probably did come over on boats.
Oh yeah, of course.
Florida. Some people say all black people originated from the South. I mean, think about it.
From the South.
Well, I
No.
mean, not take Africa from an American standpoint. I mean, when you came over from like slaves, when they were brought over from Africa, you would think they would land into a southern.
Well, I think a lot of them came in through New York. That was the biggest port, the biggest trading port in the country.
But Christopher Columbus didn't know that,
No, but he didn't bring slaves with him,
or did he?
or did he? He might have actually. I don't know. I don't know how that worked, man. I'm not a big Christopher Columbus guy, but
Again,
I
another-
wonder if he had some on his ship.
I don't know, but I heard that theory that if you talk to anybody if you talk to a black person in Massachusetts, you talk to a black person in New York, California, Oklahoma, Seattle, anywhere, they all have family in
The South.
the South.
Well, how many black people do we see that move out of the South back to Atlanta? Well, Atlanta is a predominantly black area, but
Right.
there's a lot of cities through the South that are predominantly black. You know, Birmingham has a giant black population.
True.
Jacksonville.
You get what I'm saying, though?
I get it.
Like, I mean, most black people. I don't
Well,
know.
I think that comes from the South being the holdout that kept slaves longer than the states of the North. You know,
See, now I'm curious. Where did Harriet Tubman take them to?
just over the Mason-Dixon line is all I remember.
So, like, North Virginia or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Up into Baltimore. You know, there's a giant population in Baltimore.
Very true.
DC.
Chicago.
Yeah.
DC. You're right.
I think they all spread out from that point, but it's just to get them into the free states, you know?
Right. That's amazing. Just, man, we need to remember these for later podcasts.
You know, a funny little anecdote. When I was a kid, I thought there was actually an underground railroad that
Me
these
too.
people were traveling
Me
on.
too. I thought
I was like,
is
there's
it-
a subway that were taking these people out?
not a subway, but wasn't it underground? Or
No, it was called the Underground Railroad just because they would move at night, you know, where people couldn't see them, and they had certain houses, like safe houses set
Right.
up to where
Like your underground rapper.
yeah,
The rapper's
yeah,
not
exactly. You're not
underground.
actually living subterranean. Subterranean.
Oh, that's funny, man.
Yeah, you know, we all meet in Middle Earth to have our underground rapper conventions.
session, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get on to some WTF OMG.
Let's do it.
All right, so I go first with the WTF,
Yes.
right? All right, let me tell you about this story, Smoke Dizzle.
All right.
All right. Okay, here's the headline. Deaf man sues Pornhub over lack of closed captions.
I heard this story actually.
Wow.
I heard of this story. I didn't read the story, but I've heard of it.
A deaf man from Georgia is suing Pornhub because the videos of the on the company's websites do not have closed captions. I'm gonna
Wow.
butcher this guy's name, Yaroslav Suris, which doesn't sound like a Georgia native.
Not quite.
Yaroslav Suris
Is he Russian?
sounds like Ukrainian, Russian, something like
Yeah.
that. Claims that Pornhub is in a violation in the Americans with Disabilities Act and is seeking compensation, damages, civil penalties, and fines against the pornographic video sharing site.
Wow.
Sirius has also sued Fox News and TMZ for
Oh my God.
for not providing subtitles.
All
Listed
right.
several videos. Speak on it.
At first, I felt sorry for the man for being deaf.
Okay.
Then I come to realize he's just one of these guys who makes up frivolous lawsuits because he's just searching for a way to get paid.
Wow.
And he is using his disability to his advantage to try to get paid. Personally, I hope that he does not get paid for any of this.
Can I read a statement he wrote?
Yes.
He said, I quote, this lack of closed captioning by the defendants on their websites prevent not only the plaintiff, but also the deaf and hard of hearing located in Georgia and other southern states and nationally from having equal access. First of all, who's watching porn to listen to it? Aren't you? Isn't it
There's
all
not
about?
many words in it to begin
You
with.
might get a ooh or ah or
Yeah.
oh.
You want to see like moan flash up every few seconds. Moan. Again.
Harder moaning.
Yes. Heavy breathing. Oh my God.
That's funny.
I hope he does not get a dime from this. I hope it's a giant waste of his time.
What's crazy is he might win this lawsuit.
It's possible. There's a lot of dirtbag lawyers out there.
That's something else we need to talk about because you have a strict view on certain legal things.
Yeah, lawsuits in general. I mean, frivolous lawsuits, suing people over common mistakes. This isn't even a mistake. This is ridiculous.
You remember
people? I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but
no, please.
People are too quick these days to go, you know what? I want to get paid for doing absolutely nothing. So I'm going to say that someone hurt me, wronged me in some way, and I'm going to go see if I can get millions of dollars out of it because I don't want to work.
Do you see why they would do that, though? I know it's scumbaggish.
Well, there are certain situations where it is right to sue. Now, when this country was founded, one of the first things that they made a rule of was no trial lawyers. A lot of people say it was no lawyers in general.
Right.
But trial lawyers, ambulance chasers, these billboard lawyers, Foy and Associates,
don't say names.
Ken
Don't.
Nugent. Yes, I said his name because
I was going to use this as a clip, but go ahead.
beep it out.
All right.
Beep those names out because they are scumbags. And if they ever were to see
Are
this,
they though? What
Yeah.
if you walk into a auto parts store, you slip on some oil, and there's no sign, and you break your arm, and you are unable to work again?
then the insurance will compensate you. Now, this is what I'm saying. There are certain situations where you need to sue because the insurance will pay you. And if the insurance comes up and says, no, I refuse to pay you anything, then you are right because under the agreements with an insurance company, they're supposed to cover things like that. So you sue the insurance company and get your compensation for your medical bills. That's fair. These people
That sounds like a double-edged sword to me.
suing someone because there's no closed captions on a porn site.
No, you're right. That's ridiculous.
What about when this was whole started by the lady who went to McDonald's and spilt her coffee on her lap and burnt her stinking crotch,
Okay.
and she sued and
because
won
it
a
was
lot
too
of money.
hot. But this was before McDonald's put caution hot beverage. This wasn't on their cups. So she could have ordered, hey, I want high C. And they give her a regular cup, but it just so happens to have a coffee top on it.
Mm-hmm.
She's thinking there's a high C in there. There could be this variable that says, you know what, maybe she did not know. You can't look at... I know it sounds crazy, Smoke. I know it does. But you can't look at this all across the board.
Well, that's why she got paid, is because of that thinking right there. And that led to a lot of freeloaders trying to get paid over ridiculousness.
Was she wrong for that? Do you think she should... Did you think she should have won that case?
Now, here's how I think she should have gotten paid. If she ordered a cold coffee and they gave it to her steaming hot, and she had no idea somehow when you grab that cup,
It's going to be boiling hot.
this can't be hot. No, that's idiocracy, man.
You have idiot people in this world, man.
Exactly.
Common sense
So
is not
should
so
we...
common. Get it out.
This is a fine line, but should we just compensate all idiots? If you fall under a certain amount of IQ points, we should just hand everyone a couple $1 million and just shut them up? Like, maybe this will end the ridiculousness that goes on like this?
I will say yes and no. I say yes because all those people aren't idiots.
No, not all of them are.
And I want to tell a story real quick.
Some people have legitimate accidents.
Right. Like I said, if you walk into... I swear to God, me and one of my... I call him my OG. Me and one of my older friends went to go get oil, right? Bro, there was a huge spill on the floor. There was a sign that said, caution, wet floor. This lady might have been... She was a heavy-set lady. She walked by this sign, and it looked like the most staged fall. Like,
Yeah.
like...
Yeah.
Come on now, that I agree with you. You're doing too
Yeah.
much. But if you are a hardworking man, you wake up Monday through Friday, 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m. to work for your family, and you have to use your arm every day. You slip and fall on some oil in a store, in an auto parts store, and there's no sign. You can't work anymore to provide for your family. You should be compensated for that.
Yes, the insurance company should be paying for that.
What if you don't have insurance?
Well, the insurance company of the store, they could not be in business without insurance.
So why not sue them?
You can sue the insurance company if they don't agree to pay your medical bills, yes. Because you could do something at any point in the day that causes you not to be able to work anymore. I could walk down your steps right now and break my ankle, and I can't drive my truck anymore because my ankle, they have to chop it off for whatever reason.
The next podcast, it'll just be me sitting here by myself because
Yes.
Smokey has a lawsuit out on me.
Exactly. How would you feel about that? Wouldn't you sit back and go, oh, wow, like I didn't do anything wrong? Is there no accidents anymore? What, people can't have accidents anymore?
That's a good point.
Why are there no common mistakes and like mistake forgiveness? No, if you mess up, no, I want to
Somebody
get
has
paid.
to pay for it.
Yes.
Wow, that's a good, interesting point. That's interesting.
Yeah, like, people fall asleep, and hit someone, and yes, you feel sorry for the people to get hit.
There's so
But
many.
then they take someone's livelihood over things like that.
Right.
There's someone who's working their ass off, working 2 jobs, and they happen to fall asleep on the way home from work one day and hit someone.
Who do you
and-
sue? Do you sue the job that they work for?
Nah, I've seen it. Yes, I actually know of a case where
Talk to me.
where the lady sued. The family actually lost their son in a highway accident that a 18-wheeler driver had fallen asleep and went through the median.
The kid died?
Well, he was a grown man, but yes, it was an older lady that lost her son. And they sued the driver, they sued the company that he worked for. His logbooks were wrong, and it's a big mess. And half of me goes, wow, I feel really bad. They lost their son because this company was probably pushing that man too far. And that man also spent a long time in prison for it, for just falling asleep while
The truck
driving.
driver?
Yes.
You know that me and you both being DOT certified. You know there's only a certain amount of time you can drive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you get 10 hours a day.
I thought it was 8.
Actually, I think it's 11. No, you get 8 hours on before you have to take a 30-minute break,
Oh,
and
that's
then they
right.
give you, I think, 3 more hours.
But is
after
that-
I never go quite that far because I make so many stops that I never hit that many hours driving.
But is that wrong though? Like I would. We're getting way off topic.
Yeah,
All right, that's my OMG story. This,
we're going to do another.
look, man.
podcast on that.
We have come across 17 different subjects that we can definitely go in. So we're gonna
Yeah.
rewatch this and we'll go over them. All right, that concludes my OMG. Oh my Georgia, Smokey. What the Florida?
Thank you. What the Florida, man? This one comes from ABC Action News.
ABC
Tampa
Action.
Bay.
Ooh, Buccaneers. We just beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, didn't we, downstairs?
In Madden, yes.
We just beat him. This guy right here is the best Madden coach. He's on my team, so he's not available. Go ahead.
Florida man arrested after attempting to hire undercover detective to kill his brother.
Oh my God. Go ahead.
Pinellas County, Florida. A man was arrested after detectives say he attempted to hire an undercover detective to commit murder on his behalf. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office said on November 7th, detectives met 54-year-old Gary Hughes. During their meeting...
Huge or Hughes?
Hughes, Hudge. Huge.
Or Hudge?
Hey, he must be big.
Oh, Gary Hughes, boy.
Gary Hughes. But during their meeting, Gary informed detectives that he was interested in having his brother killed due to recent family trouble. According to detectives, Gary detailed financial disagreements between him and his brother. People are too up on money these days. Wow. And asked the detective if he was willing to kill him for money. Over the course of several meetings, Gary provided suggestions on how the murder should have taken place and which location would be best. Gary also provided detectives several Michigan addresses for his brother and offered to pay for transportation to commit the crime.
Wow. You know what's crazy? You might have heard about this, but this is the second time I've heard about something like that happened in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember all over the news there was this really, really pretty girl, and she hired a hitman to kill her husband in Florida, and they videotaped her talking to the hitman, and then they staged it, and then when she came home, they stopped her. It was like, ma'am, listen, your husband, he's dead. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then they took her to the precinct.
Didn't they have a video of it also?
Yeah, they took her to the precinct, and she's like, I don't know what would have happened. And then he walks in, and she's like, oh, you're alive, like trying to give off this Oscar-winning performance. And they're like, ma'am, you talked to our undercover detective.
Yeah.
Like, people, man.
I don't get it. Your own family, too, man.
My thing is, there had to be some kind of money.
It was.
Yeah, like a...
How much money comes between you and the life of a family member?
None. I'm going to say this, and I want y'all to take this with a grain of salt. I love my mom more than anything on planet Earth. I will take my life to save hers.
Mm-hmm.
I will take other people's lives to save hers. If it were up to me, I would go before my mom goes. And
you would gladly be broke for it.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to protect my mom because I love her that much. Here's my thing. If my mom goes before me, I am set for life. I'm set for life. But there's nothing I would do to receive that, to harm my mom. That doesn't even cross my... Dude, when it comes to killing somebody, let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
I could be married to a girl for 30 years. I could walk home from work or come home from work and she says, hey, I just had intercourse with 8 of your best friends.
Jesus.
There's not a thought in my head that's going to say, I want to kill you.
Yeah.
Like, you have to...
I would like for you to get out of my house.
Yeah, get out. I'll call you every name in the book, but not do I want to end your life.
Exactly.
People, man, God, this world.
I know. What is the world coming to? Hey, get off my lawn.
What?
Yeah. We boomers up in here. Get off my lawn.
It's not going to make me want to kill you.
Dude, what is the world coming to, man, for real?
When my mom would say that, I'd be like, an end. Because it is, man. It's coming to an end. Anything else for this WTF ONG?
That's it, man.
Smoke Dog, I got one more for you, folk.
All right.
Can you explain this for me? I'm going to be sending you a picture.
I'm going to explain the hell out of this.
We'll explain the hell out of it, Smoke.
All right.
Where does this picture end up on screen? Right. Bing. All right. Explain that picture for me, please.
Ooh, it is a crop circle.
Explain that to me. What's that all about?
Huh. Well, it's very artfully done, I can tell you that.
Before you explain, this was done overnight. Wasn't there when the farmers went to sleep, but was there when they woke up in the morning.
How much do you believe that?
That's what I'm asking you. What do you think?
Was this what was this? Cornfield, wheat field? What is this?
I don't know.
It's so high up you can't tell what the crop is.
But there's multiple pictures of crop circles.
Oh yeah, of course. This is very intricate.
I mean, the geometrical shape. This is what you see on DMT.
Perfect, yeah.
I mean, straight.
It's almost fractal, isn't it? Fractal. Wow. I think it is fractal. Because the deeper you go, the more circles you find.
Right. What do you think about this?
That's amazing.
By the way, this is a new one from 2020.
Wow.
I just want to say that's a 6-point star.
That's the Star of David.
GD vote.
Yeah. That's what that is, yep. And there is also a pentagon behind it.
6. You gonna say the third one, right?
That was your cue right there. Jesus. Look there.
What do you think about crop circles?
If you count out from the middle, counting the middle out, there's 6 circles in each direction.
Yes, you're right. There's 6 circles in every direction going
There
out.
is. It's fractal. That's what I'm saying, dude.
Dude, there's 6 circles in every direction except
Yes.
even from the middle going out.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Wow, this is very intricate. Dude,
What do you think? Talk to me about crop circles.
them are some gangbanging satanic aliens that did this, man.
So you do think it's extraterrestrial?
I don't know. I mean, that
How long would it take for me and you to do
Russell.
this, you think?
for me and you to just go out in the field and complete this,
Right.
a month.
A month to be that intricate?
Yes. I mean, having no prior knowledge of how to do it, we would have to plan it out. We'd have to go out there and start. We'd make a few mistakes and then go back over it.
No, that's not right. Let's go back and do
Yes,
that.
and then we'd have to get a drone to go up and look at it and
Right.
see. That's the thing. If this was truly done overnight, that's tough, man. If this was really done overnight, how did they accomplish that? But it could just be some elaborate scheme to bring in some kind of notoriety to this guy's farm also.
Okay, but
He could be in money trouble or...
to bring
You're saying this is new, though. Where is it?
hold on.
Because there shouldn't be crops that green in January.
Well, when I say new, I want to say like late summer of 2019.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
But what do you think it is? Do you think there's any paranormal involved in this whatsoever?
If it was truly done overnight, that would lead me to believe that direction, yes.
Okay, there's videos of crop circles being formed.
Oh, by people?
No. There's videos of farmers leaving deer cameras out, and within seconds you'll see 3 white lights. They'll go this way, go this way, go this way, and they put imprints in the ground within seconds. So there's actual video of this. I mean, and there's so many. If you guys just Google crop circles, there's no way. I mean, they're at perfect right degree angles.
Yeah.
The circles are perfect. I mean, like, how?
I think it's an imprint that the coders of the Matrix are putting into our reality.
What the heck does that mean?
It's something. I mean, I don't know why they're doing it. And this is completely esoteric and completely non-skeptical, completely open-minded. You would have to be to even go down this rabbit hole, but some sort of symbolism that the people who are actually coding our reality.
Meaning the simulation?
Yes.
Okay.
Same thing if you were playing Grand Theft Auto and you ran across this section in the game that you wanted to remember, so you put a monument there so you would remember this section is where you needed to come back to complete a certain task.
Right.
Crop circles could be something like that.
This is my question. This is my skepticism. This is my skepticism coming into play. Why only in farms? Why don't you see this in?
That's a good question. Why don't you? Well, I could say that a farm would be the easiest medium to use.
Why?
Because it's soft and it's going to stand out, and you got this lush green field that they have grown here. You can see the pathways that they were using to travel up and down to.
Oh wait, I didn't see that.
Yeah, the farmers were using.
Well, no, those are just tractor.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Those are the pathways that the farmers have been using to travel up and down this to, fertilize, water, blah, blah, blah. And so this would be an easy medium to put an imprint into rather than, and it's non-permanent. If you were to etch it into the top of a mountain,
Right. Well,
which
Nazca
we have
lines.
seen those.
Yeah,
Yes.
Nazca lines.
Yes. But, maybe that's why they're using crops. But maybe they have used other sites as well.
Like the Nazca lines. Those are done
Yes.
in the desert. But, okay, money. You have to put money on it. You're betting your house. Man-made or paranormal. You're betting your house.
If I'm betting my house, I'm saying man-made.
You don't think there's no paranormal involved in these?
I think it's possible, yeah. But I'm not going to bet my house on it. I definitely think it's possible that this is paranormal.
Like the Nazca lines, these were done before drawings. They were, I think, before Christ was born. And there's thousands of them. And the only way you can see them is from the sky. And they're still there to this day.
Which makes you wonder, were ancient people doing that? Because how did they travel up into the sky to see the finished work?
Right.
And why would they want to?
Right.
Which leads you to believe it may be paranormal.
Which is where we're going to cut it off right here.
Yep.
And we're going to pick up on a lot of these topics. We're going to go back and watch this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, but we got a lot of things to talk about.
We do. Lots of upcoming episodes, so stick with us, folks.
Stick with us. 2020 coming up. We got reactions coming up. We got live streams coming up. We got more play-by-plays. We got more music. Everything that the Trash Talkers have been bringing you.
We're going to bring you more.
More and more. With that being said, my name is Barringer Hollywood 6 Pines.
I am Larry Smokey Ramirez. Cowan, please like and subscribe, and for God's sake, leave us a comment, hit that bell. Make sure you get one of these every time we do one. What else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I love you.
He loves you, and so do I, guys. With that being said, we are over and out.
Deuces.